This is Will Phototech coming directly to you through the power of the internet, possibly both on Facebook and YouTube. Uh, I'll most definitely upload this to YouTube, and then I'll look at whether Facebook will let me, because they have some size restrictions on some of their files. And I'm shrinking. Oh, yeah. Uh, I know I'm a little on the slightly late side for this one. This is just my quick notes. I'm a very busy person with all my little projects and stuff like that, and trying to help many different people. But this is my video on EA's. Does that make me look old? A smile like that and make my face all wrinkly. This is my feelings and thoughts and my personal review of the EA Play E3 2018 conference, not press conference. Well, it is a press conference, but they opened it up to people now. First and foremost, I will cover the pre-show on the EA channel. And they open up with the two hosts, and I'm not going to say their names. I'm not going to spend all that time on that stuff, because they already do that enough on the whole thing. If you have watched it, you would know, but I'm just giving you my opinion, and there is a lot of fluff. And trust me, that is a common thing that happens at a great many of these events, and simply because it makes me feel more epic. Yes. But anyways, and the long and short of this, there's like only 8 games. I think 9 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes. And like 4 of those are just like a smidgen of a touch. Just mention it. Just a light mention. A little sizzle. But anyways, during the pre-show, they were just standing outside and they were talking with fans, okay? Whether they're people they just happen to know who are famous for playing their games, and they just happen to carry them over there. So, hey, that happens to be you. Okay, but anyways, yeah. The next thing is, after that, is an update. They're updating Madden Mobile, and it's now going to be called Madden NFL OverDrive. And they're going to update it with a new engine, all this other stuff to make it a better game. It's still a mobile game. I guess you can have fun with that. I do play a little mobile games myself here and there, but they're mostly just time burners and distractions. And then let's just say this really quickly and simple. Was not totally energized by the Madden Mobile, Madden NFL OverDrive upgrade. But I'm not a fan of the NFL or any athletic sports or team sports. Which will go into the next thing, is the FIFA 2018 matches update, where they talk about all the matches that have been going on up to this point for the new championship. And as I will say this, and as many people have said, I'm not interested in this. And a lot of people are like, I realize EA has a very tight grip on the eSports scene in this regard, football, basketball, soccer, baseball. Well, was baseball until many years ago, until 2K screwed them up. But but yeah, most people don't care for it. And to me, I'm not a fan of sports. But if you want to play a sport, the best way to play it is in real life. Uh, I've always been a fan of having video games that had features or the ability or feature to allow you to experience things that are not within your reach or within uh, reasonable real world situations. I'm not going to go to the moon and fight Bowser in person. In a video game, that is perfectly doable. I am not going to fly around a gigantic mech and blast up other gigantic mechs in real life. Not yet. But in video games, that's doable. A super expensive car that 1,000 cars that each cost us anywhere from $80,000 to $5 million is not doable in real life unless you want to spend a lot of time making a lot of money. In video games, it's very much doable. I'm just not a fan of stuff like that. And then the next segment, so far I have like 2 frowny faces. There's more frowny faces. Now let's just see if there's any smiley faces or flat or 50-50s. And then they get to the segment where they give gab on the EA Access Lounge, and they talk about more promotions and stuff like that. And it's more padding. And they get through 2 things and they pad. And then they get into the next thing after that, which is the 4th thing, which is Sims 4 Seasons expansion. And admittedly, that is neat. You could say that is interesting, but I'm not that big into The Sims, so you're going to get a lot of that when it comes to EA games with me. I'm not excited about that stuff. For a company that has the name Arts in its name, it's kind of lacking in the arts. Anyways, and then they get into another fluffy little section where they talk about, hey, do you want to get into the gaming industry? Do you want to game test? I guess EA wants new employees to make 2 or 3 games and then fire. You know, maybe start another studio and then fire the whole studio. So EA is quite fun and interesting in that manner. They want to create studios just so they can make a few games with them and then they fire them. I guess that works out. And then from there on, and by the way, this is over. The whole video on the EA channel is about 3 hours. There is a bunch of fluff at the beginning. There's a long wait time at the beginning, and there's a long period at the end where they have FIFA matches. But cutting that all down to the press conference and the pre-show, that's about an hour. Okay? So, putting everything in perspective. Then we actually get into the actual show. They have a opening sizzle reel, which is, interestingly enough, very quick and short, but at the same time stretched. I don't think they have much content to stretch, so they're just try to shoot it along at a quick pace, but they're like just trying to figure out how many seconds can they have on a clip before it's too much of a clip, but a clip of a game, but not so few seconds that is too short and makes the whole scissor reel flash by in a blink. And that almost happened to me when I was watching it. I was like I wrote down some notes, and like I missed most of the scissor reel, and that kept happening repeatedly. So yeah. And then they get into Battlefield 5. And this is actually like, by the way, I was downy on the downy neutral on the sizzle reel. I had to rewatch it just to see it again, or risk blinking and missing most of it. But anyways, it was a strange situation where it was stretched and short at the same time. Then we get into Battlefield 5. They show it off. A lot of buzzwords. It looks like a nice game. It looks like it was fun. There's some inaccuracies in it, although it's important that they keep saying that it's their version of the story of World War II. Ooh, so, okay. But the whole thing where they added in the Battle Royale feature, a little tag on at the end of that whole segment. Well, first and foremost, many people are like, oh, no one asked for this. But to me, at least, I'm not a big Battle Royale person. By the way, Battle Royale concept is not a new concept. It's actually dirt freaking old. But it just had a new resurgence in recent years. One of the old kings of the old Battle Royale setup is Worms, a classic franchise from Team 17. But it's a 2D game. But to me, an FPS game would naturally have something like a Battle Royale. There should be like a team match. There should be a Battle Royale. Really cool if Splatoon 2 got a deathmatch mode, a more straight up deathmatch mode, and a Battle Royale mode. But I'm also enjoying the fact that Splatoon is its own little crazy thing off to the side. It's from most other video gaming, being post-apocalyptic shoot-'em-up games, okay? So I don't want to change Splatoon too much, to make it more like the conventional games, but I also see that there's some fun adding that stuff to Splatoon 2, but I just walked off the side from Battlefield 5 to Splatoon 2, so that's where my heart is. But Battlefield 5 looks interesting, and the whole Battle Royale thing is, I'm good with that. Really, that should be kind of a thing in pretty much all FPS games. How hard is it to just set it up so that everyone is effectively on their own team, their own individual team, and that they have to survive to the end and find weapons, which is kind of like death matches in GoldenEye 007, where you just run around and find weapons and you shoot at people, minus the respawn mechanic and a shrinking or changing size area or moving area. It's not that new of a concept. It's just tweaks and mutations in another direction. And then they get into FIFA 19, and that was a really short section. I didn't write down times here. I put it on the actual EA channel, the actual times, after I got done watching the video again and again. But anyways, FIFA 2019. As I said before, I'm not excited about sports games, although I do prefer soccer over football and basketball. I also like hockey more than football and basketball. I've always been more of a bowling, pool, soccer, hockey kind of person, but I'm not that big on team sports. And yet again, I'm more of a fan of if you want to play a sport, play it in real life. But then again, that's something else. You have to deal with people, and I don't like dealing with people that much. The next thing is, remember the pattern I told you earlier, where it's like they do one or two things, and then they do a filler, or they just... Yeah, they did that again. EA Play Origin Access Premiere announcement. Basically, the premium streaming service from EA. Because they have around 100 games. By the way, they're going to do a special event where they have a 100-hour streaming event. For each hour, they have a different streamer, and they are going to be playing a different game for 100 hours straight. But only a game per hour and a streamer per hour. So. Yeah. But anyways, they brought that back up again. So in the same broadcast, they brought it up twice in two different forms, but halves or parts of the whole nugget of information. You get two different pieces. There are missing parts, and they put them together. You get one piece earlier, and you get another piece. And it's like, okay, that's very fun. And a lot of people are not too super duper excited with this EA event. But anyways, and then after that, Star Wars Fallen Order, and that's literally the only thing. That's the only bit of information. Even less than what Nintendo did with Metroid Prime 4. Not even a logo or a mock-up announcement trailer. It's just, hey, I recognize you. Oh yeah, you hinted at something. What is it? Okay. Is it good error or bad error? Okay. Short set of questions and answers, and it's done. It's like less effort than what Nintendo did. And then, ever since Battlefront 2 came out, there was a whole bunch of updates. I knew of them at the time, but I lost track of them because I don't support EA. Or I don't buy very many EA games. I mostly buy old EA games for old systems. Mostly racing and action-adventure games. But there's a whole bunch of new content coming to Battlefront 2. And also I wrote down here updates and sorry for being caught greedy. Because honestly, thank you for telling us that you don't like certain stuff. Yeah, it wasn't quite the game we wanted it to be. Sorry we were caught greedy. Next thing was Unravel 2, and that looks like a very fun little romp. It kind of has a beautiful graphical style to it, as I said probably in the past one. The only thing I took note of was during the gameplay session, the bird is a moron. The bird is a moron. It's a bird brain. Because honestly, the bird would have been able to get Yarny and his friend quite easily multiple times, but the bird is a moron. The bird is artificially stupid, so the two players didn't lose. But anyways, then the next part By the way, I actually enjoyed Unravel 2, whose little presentation, but it diminished as I watched it. It started out good, and then the next game is Sea of Solitude, and I'm like, okay, this is a really artsy game. I see where she's going. Also, she told us details that we I want to stop and question a little bit about her in the game. Don't read psychology and philosophy. It's dangerous. By the way, at this point, I memo down Z, eat, drink, and junk food for energy. When I was watching the video, everything was, as I said before, is all stretched out with as minimal information as possible, fluffed up as I said, but little short sections. So I was starting to lose energy at this moment. All the frowny faces and almost falling asleep really meant I needed to go grab my bag of jelly bean and Starbursts and like eat a ton of sugar, get my coffee and my energy drink, and just because I was running out of energy at this point. It's not good, EA. Seriously. I don't know if it's just your PR team or the content you make, but it makes a lot of people fall asleep or lose interest really quickly. It's all the sports, I think. It's all the sports plus the fluff and shallow buzzwords. But after that, we got to NBA Live 19 or 2019, and that was also just a trailer, hardly any information. It went by like nothing. And then we got to Madden 19. That was basically a trailer, and that went by, and that was a short little section. It was like nothing. And I was thinking it was going to go on a little bit longer. It went into another section, and I suddenly realized it was in Command and Conquer Rivals, and Command and Conquer Rivals is a mobile game for Android and iOS, and you can play it on your phones and you can play it on your tablets. It looks like a good fun diversion, time killer. I don't know what kind of progression it has, as far as it's gonna go as into the future, but it looks like it's like something you pull out with a friend and you play a quick few rounds and you put it away. And there's really not much more going beyond that. It's a good little quick strategy session. And yet again, that also went by fairly quickly. But it was an actual gameplay session, or at least seemed like it. So that was actually more interesting. I was actually more interested in that than most of the stuff that has been shown for a while. And then we get to another long ramble session. By the way, this long ramble session with a bunch of buzzwords and promotion of or various organizations that don't do hardly anything. Many charities are just quick get rich schemes and shit like that. So I'm fairly skeptical of giving government money, and I'm also fairly skeptical of giving charities money. They are both for the same reason. Both groups waste money left and right, and in the case of charities, they're actually incentivized to waste money. I'm not joking. There are nonprofits, so in other words, if they have extra money that they did not budget or plan in for the year, they just give it out as bonuses. Which is not unusual because majority of donations occur at the end of the year, right around late December, which in case is impossible for most charities to spend that money in a reasonable fashion. Like there's aid that's needed in various places of the world. A charity gets the money in December. It does not have the time to effectively take that money and use it on various programs in various areas. So it pretty much will just give the management a huge ass bonus. So if you want to you want to donate to charity, first and foremost, what you really need to do is research the charity really closely, like their ratio of donations going to the cause or to management and promotion. And second, and probably equally important, is you don't give the fucking money at, sorry for the swear word, at the end of the year or anywhere near the end of the year. What you want to do is give it out in the beginning of a year or midway through the year. Say like right now. Not specifically when you're watching this video, but I mean like around the summer, the late spring, early summer. That would be like the perfect time to give the money to charity. If you wait until winter or say like November, December, your money is basically just going into someone else's pocket to buy themselves a nicer car. Okay? You just wasted your time giving money to charity. And after that promotion and me smashing and kicking the crap out of charities and EA's horrible problems with buzzwords, they went into my favorite part of the E3 conference for EA, Anthem. When I was watching Anthem, I felt like, hey, this is like Armored Core, with a more of a focus on mobility and a more emphasis on story, and looks nicer too. But most Armored Core games are from the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 era, and a few of them got into the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era, but those were like the downslope ones. They got experimental and they got stupid with that experimentation in the later ones. But anyways, what I got the feeling was it felt like Armored Core, minus the weapons upgrading and customization. But in the case of Anthem, it's more cosmetic upgrades. And they made a point of saying, hey, you can play solo, you can play with your friends, and you cannot buy more power. Okay. Unless there's a PvP section, the lack of buying power is not that big of a deal. If there's PvP, inability to buy power is a good thing. If it's a PvE situation or players versus environment, buying power is not that bad of a thing. But anyways, it does look like an interesting game. I might actually consider it. It's coming out for the Xbox 360, PlayStation 4, and PC in February of 2019. So I might get around to buying that and playing it, because I've had an itch for like something like Armored Core in some long time. So unless I want to pull out my older systems and play some Armored Core, which I played hundreds upon hundreds of sorties or missions in. There. As this video is concerned, this is 30 minutes. I basically covered an hour of show material in 30 minutes with me rambling in circles. If I could do that, and by the way, I've seen people do it in 15 minutes, you know there's a lot of freaking fluff. Okay? There was also, after the Anthem section, the post show, which was basically all FIFA matches. Yet again, I'm not that big a fan of sports, but if I was going to play a sport, I would probably play soccer or field hockey. And I don't know about actual people. Maybe if they get androids working properly, and I can play field hockey and soccer with them, because I'm not that big of a fan of people. Yeah, I'm not that big of a fan of people. But anyways, yeah, I'm done with that. As I said before, there's like only 9 games announced. The good 3 of them are like trailers, stuff that you would know that comes out every year, and or less, as far as announcement is concerned. So there. Overall, my my excitement level, I was only really happy 2 times with Unravel and Anthem. I liked both of those. I was in the sorta interested okay range about, say 1 and 2 more times. And then I was in the meh range 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And I frowny faced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times. Yeah. There was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, about like 16 things. So, there. So, thank you very much for watching this video. I do realize I don't upload all that often. At some point I might get back into the pattern of doing so. However, as I said, I'm always busy with so many other things. I might start making various review videos and TV shows, movies, video games, music, and I might just make them ahead of time and pre-schedule them spread out through a month, say like 1 review each week, and have that drop on a time clock, just so the channel has a regular material popping up on it. And I'm basically just kind of like metamorphosing through my life as far as entertainment is concerned. I found that sometimes I just don't have the energy to turn on the video game system, put a game in it, and play a game for hours. I much rather say like stick Futurama in, and a few episodes of Futurama, and watch just a few episodes of Futurama as I fall asleep. Yeah. Or go watch an old Godzilla Godzilla movie or some old kaiju movie. By the way, it's the current time is 1 a.m. and 27 minutes. So this is late at night. They say that you're either busy, you either have money, time, or energy. I'm have money, but I don't have a lot of time all the time, and I also don't have energy. And oddly enough, when I have energy, I don't have the time, and I don't have the time when I have energy. It's just how these things are. But I'm gonna try to make more regular updates and posts on this channel. I might just do goofy review things, like I'll grab an old Skylanders figure and review the character, or review a video game that just came out that I happen to be playing a lot, or an old video game, or a movie or TV show some point. Okay. Incidentally, as we all know, Toys R Us is going out of business, so I got a new friend. Jeffrey the Giraffe from Toys R Us. I also picked up a whole bunch of other Amiibo and Skylanders and Disney Infinity stuff and Splatoon and a whole bunch of other stuff. It's just one of those things. I'll see you next time. Oh, by the way, keep your stick on the ice, and if ladies don't find you handsome, so they should at least find you nerdy.